Howdy, people. This is Voodoo in the Woods. I am According to Woods, and I have the former U of MMA champion. He is the one and only Voodoo Maximus. I feel
Yes,
dizzy.
yes,
I feel
the
dizzy.
undisputed announcer on the planet. That's right. Thank you for that one. I loved it. That was
I
phenomenal.
I appreciate you for doing this show week after week with this guy, man. I've got a face for
The,
radio, and like, uh, don't even get me started on my voice, But we do what we can with what we can, right?
most definitely. Hey, that's all we can do, man. We can only attempt to control what we have control of. So, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do our best at it too. So there you go.
Yes, I mean, and speaking of people that are going to do the best that they very well can, we've got a litany of fighters on this UFC 259 card that are going to do the best that they can to beat the ever living shit out of each other. And we're going to go ahead and talk about that, right?
Yes, let's shall.
Yes. So right off the bat, right? We are on the back end of the UFC 259 press conference, where, my goodness, it looked like, I don't know, King Midas had just threw up all over the place. There was an amount of gold. It was the mixing of King Midas, like turning everything to gold, but also like a backyard barbecue, because the gold still looks like a fucking Dixie paper plate, just a golden version of it. I just, yeah, it
Yeah.
looks like shit. It looks like fucking Tommy from the Power Rangers is fucking little thing to summon the robotic dinosaurs or whatever the fuck. Yeah, you know, that man know,
Good
that
times.
man know. But yeah, I mean, it was a cool little press conference. There's some stuff that happened in terms of like people asking about Habib. Um, there was the Russian former Bellator world champion. Gosh, I'm forgetting his name. I want to say Alexander Shlemenko, right?
I
There was a
forget
Russian
to.
person. Yeah, there was a Russian reporter right at the end. He had the last two questions, and he was just like, "Yo, would you be interested in having Alexander Shlemenko as a part of the organization?" And Dana White didn't even fucking know who Shlemenko was. So I'm like, what the hell? Whatever. But he was saying, okay, where does he fight now? And the guy, the reporter, was like, oh, he fights for fight nights over in Russia. And it's like, oh, well, is he signed or whatever? And it's like, he's signed to a one fight deal. So the former Bellator World Heavyweight Champion Alexander Shlemenko has only one fight to do in Russia, and he is a free agent. So, um, in a time where the UFC just let go two of the, I'd say, definitely in the top 10 in terms of greatest UFC heavyweights, and not just MMA heavyweights of all time, in Junior Dos Santos and Alistair Overeem, maybe there might be some openings there.
Future Hall of Famers, man. Those two gentlemen that just got let go. I mean, their time right now. Their time right now on the top. That's what happened. It happens to the best of them. At some point, once the knockout starts to mount up, we have to do the right thing as an organization, meaning the UFC. They have to do the right thing and let these guys, even though these guys are warriors, they won't leave. They won't go unless you push them out. And then the UFC has to push them out. And, I can understand. It's for their own safety. Because these guys at the top level, they will hurt them. And we don't want to see that anymore. So I thank them for their services, by the way.
No, absolutely. Two of the greatest heavyweights of all time. And speaking of one of the greatest people of all time, Shaman Steve says, evening, gentlemen. Evening, Shaman Steve. Great show, he says. Your periscopes are great. We just do this thing.
Yeah.
We do this thing, you know?
That's right, man.
we're going to get the card kicked off in the 135 pound division, better known as the bantamweight division. We have 12-6 Trevin Jones against and Trevin. I know he's got a fight nickname, five star Trevin Jones out of Haiti, and he's going up against the 8-1 Mario Batista. And I mean, in terms of Mario Batista, he's beaten Miles Johns. He's had some, I mean, pretty much traveled all over the place before him coming to the UFC. Wins at Combate Americas, Combate 26, wins at LFA. I mean, wins at even Smash Global 6 back in 2017, right?
I was there with
So,
him. I was there with
yes,
him
you
at Smash
were. I was
Global
about to
6. We
say.
were in the same dressing room. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you about that guy, man. He when he's in the dressing room in the back, man, he's not talking to anyone, not even his corner. He's just absolutely focused. And he's like pacing back and forth, you know what I mean? Quiet. Doesn't talk to anyone, no conversation. He's just in his own head, doing his thing. He's just absolute 1000% focused, which is why I'm picking him to win the match, by the way.
there you go. I like it. I mean, somebody that you've got a personal relationship and have basically you know, shared the locker room with, and Shaman Steve, who was also there at Smash Global 6, says,
Oh, yeah,
great
he was there
night.
too. That's right.
Yes, he was. Hashtag never forget. Never forget.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Bautista, he's an interesting fellow, man. His future is going to be bright because he's
I
got
hope
the right mentality. He's got the right mentality. I look forward to him in the future.
I like it. I mean, his only loss in the UFC is to Corey Sandhagen, where a lot of people are pegging Corey Sandhagen to be in the mix in terms of the title contention. So there's that. Now, again, Trevin Jones, this is his promotional debut. Pretty impressive record, 12-6. I mean, it's a half and half. He's got half as many losses as he has wins. But again, that's still a close to 20 fight veteran. So I'm gonna go with Mario Batista as well, just because MMA Lab versus a gym that I don't necessarily have the most depth of knowledge of. So I'm gonna go with Mario Batista in this particular contest. Now, Voodoo, what would you say the finish is going to be on this
one? If this is not a unanimous decision, then it'll be a stoppage no later than the second round. That's what I see. Why do I see that? Mario Bautista has been fighting on the highest level for much longer than this Trevin Jones. Even though Trevin Jones has more fights than Mario, Mario's fights have been more quality fights. So he is more experienced at the highest level. This is why I'm picking him to win either by the second round stoppage. See, Mario can either knock him out or submit him. So, worst case scenario, you have a decision win. That's what I see.
I like it. I'm going to go with you on that as well. Nate Wren of Podium Sports says looking forward to seeing another great show. Thank you, Nate. Thank you, Podium Sports. And check out Podium Sports on YouTube and a bunch of other platforms for all of your boxing and combat sports news. It's not just us, but Nate Wren doing one would even say the Lord's work. And I mean the Lord, like Game of Thrones type Lord, But however you want to construe it, 10 points for you. Now, speaking of somebody, we went from 5-star to one match that I think is underrated in the 155-pound division. We have Uros Medic, the Doctor, and yes, I love this name because his last name is Medic. You become the Doctor. That's a good layup. It's not all the time do you get mana from heaven. And when you do, and you're blessed, with a name like that, as well as a kind of occupation as being a prize fighter, a cage fighter, you go with the two, And he's gone pretty
Mhm.
well
Mhm.
because he comes into the octagon with a perfect 6-0 record. He comes to us via Dana White's Contender Series, a first round, um, pretty much TKO of Mikey Gonzalez at Dana White's Contender
Mhm.
Series back in August. Otherwise he's a
Mhm.
pretty much a staple of the Alaskan fighting scene. So I'm sure one
Mhm.
Tyson Duckworth knows about one Uros Medic, but I'm standing across from him. He's got
Mhm.
Alon Cruz, an 8-3 record. Alon is came to us also through the Dana White's Contender Series back in 2019, July 2019. But he won with a flying knee, third round flying knee, but lost his promotional debut to one Alpha Ginger, Spike Carlisle. So, Voodoo, what say you?
Mhm. Mhm. Yes, these two men, they have similar ways of winning. They have very good submission game, and they have some striking game too. As you can see, there's been flying knee knockouts, and Euros the medic. He's got some I believe knockouts of his own by what did he say? Ground and pound kick. So they they they're 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 moving towards dynamic striking, flying knee, head kick, you know what I'm saying? So these are good attributes to have. But what both of them have the most of is the submission. I see triangle chokes. I see submission. So this is going to be a well-rounded MMA match. And why go against perfection? The man is 6-0 for a reason. So I'm gonna go with the doctor to win this one. Split decision.
Okay. Now, if you're one Alon Cruz, right? And you let's assuming that you accrue damage and you walk into, or hopefully you walk in, but you could be gurneyed in to the medical facility there in Las Vegas after your fight with Uros Medic, and you're telling the doctor there as he's assessing your injuries, like, what happened to you? Well, I got beat by another doctor. Will he have some PTSD going into this? I don't know. But Uros Medic, again, because of his layup, his name is Medic. He is the doctor. Tremendous. I want him, hell, we're not in this Reebok era. The Reebok era of the UFC is completely donezo. So this is the first event not under
Yep.
the Reebok umbrella. So hello, if you're one Venom, right? The new sponsor of the UFC in terms of their fight gear, you make this guy a doctor shirt. You do the whole scrubs and everything like that, and plaster the UFC and Venom logo and all that stuff. This prints money.
Mhm.
And again, if he's able to maintain his winning ways, again, print money, 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 money.
Yeah.
So Uros Medic.
Yes. 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 Medic indeed. Medic indeed. Let's go.
Now, one person that I think will probably need a a bit of a doctor, a medic of sorts, is one Amanda Lemos. Now she is coming in with an 8-1-1 record, right? Almandia is her fight moniker, right? Which is a play on word of her first name, right? But Lavinia Sousa, 14-2. If I've been a fan of Lavinia Sousa since her days at Invicta Fighting Championship. She is, I think, a future world champion. Now she's got a lot of ways to get there, but I do think that Lavinia Sousa, given the time and the evolution that it will take to get to the Zheng Lees and the, you know, no, God, I forgot her name, the Polish gal.
Joanna and J
Uh,
check.
yes, Young Jenchek, right?
Joanna and J check.
Yes, absolutely.
Hmm.
Young
Hmm.
Jinchik, right? So to get to the upper echelon, the Carla Esparzas of the world, all of these fantastic fighters, right? I think she's progressing at a rate that she's going to be able to make the transition in about a year and a half, 2 years time, right? And that climb
Mm-hmm.
starts
Mm-hmm.
at Amanda Lemos. So I'm picking. I mean, sorry, I kind of
Mm-hmm.
took ahead, Voodoo, but I'm picking Lavinia Sousa. She's probably going to submit Amanda Lemos. That's what I say. I'd say maybe third round, the Brazilian gangster is going to take out Amanda Lemos by by armbar. But I mean, it's definitely submission before, for sure, because she's done it. I mean, almost all of her wins are pretty much submissions. I mean, she's got some Yaka Hamasaki. She has a TKO win there. Alexis Chambers, she won by guillotine choke. So I've got submission for Lavinia, the Brazilian gangster Sosa.
Yes, I do agree with you. The Brazilian gangster, I'm going for her to win this too, simply because she's more fight experience. I mean, they're both Brazilians, so um, I love Brazilians. I love jiu-jitsu. So we should see lots of great jiu-jitsu here. But the equalizer in this particular matchup is going to be that striking. And Souza, the Brazilian gangster, has shown me in the past that she's got what it takes to win matches. So I'm going with her. Amanda, 8-1. She's got to be good to be 8-1-1. So she will be dominated. Unanimous decision for the Brazilian gangster.
There we go. I like it. I like it. Now, we're going to get back into, because we're talking about Uros Medic's undefeated record. Well, so to it with a higher number, a number in the double digits in terms of win. The 13-0 Sean Brady, right? And he's going up against the Australian. He's Australian, but he calls himself the Celtic or Celtic kid, if you like correct pronunciations. But Jake Matthews beat Diego Sanchez. Good God, I'm picking against Jake Matthews because you, in his decrepit state of mind, couldn't finish Diego Sanchez. Really? And I'm not. I'm as big as a Diego Sanchez fan as there is, right? But Josh Fabia, this kind of era of Diego Sanchez, not a fan, right? So, and he is one that I am absolutely concerned about because there looks like, he's not like Andrei Arlovsky. He's not like Alistair Overeem, who's taken a
Mm-hmm.
bevy of shots, but still can form a
Mm-hmm.
sentence. Look at Michael Bisping, what have you. You don't want Diego Sanchez commentating anything or speaking on anything. So, again, Jake Matthews, you couldn't finish a dilapidated Diego Sanchez. So I'm going for Sean Brady to retain his undefeated streak, right? There is no Brock Lesnar here because the Undertaker, that is Jake Matthews. I mean, he's gonna do shit. I mean, wins over Court McGee, right? A unanimous decision. Court is a tough guy to put away. Wins over our friend, that beast, Christian Aguilera, won via guillotine choke. So again, I got Jake Matthews. Just saying. I mean, not Jake Matthews,
You
Sean
got
Brady.
Jake
I'm sorry.
Matthews. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sean Brady.
Sean
Because
Brady.
Jake Matthews,
Yeah. Sean Brady.
Jake Matthews,
Yeah. That's why I had to repeat it. That's why I had to repeat it. You got Jake Matthews. Yeah.
I was like,
So
no.
what we've got here is, I mean, what we have here is perfection versus 4 losses. If it ain't broke, don't try and fix it. The men's undefeated for a reason. Okay. Yes, Jake Matthews has been in the UFC much longer, right? But at the same time, Sean Brady knows how to win. He knows how to win, and he can fight. So I'm going with Sean Brady to win this one by split decision. Jake Matthews is going to give him a fight because he is no pushover. But at the same time, the man's undefeated for a reason. So I'm going with Sean Brady to take this one home.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Now, it's something that you're going to get more of, that whether you ask for it or not, because every time Israel Adesanya is fighting, you better believe that the city kickboxing contingent are going to be all up and down whatever cards he fights. We saw it in the instance of Jake
Mhm.
Matthews, one, right? And then we're going to see it again in the undefeated Carlos Ulberg, right? Mr. Marvelous, he calls himself. Uh, but
Mhm.
he is undefeated. Last time he stepped into a ring, actually an octagon, a shorter version of the octagon, but that was in Dana White's Contender Series back in November of 2020, and he
Mhm.
finished off Bruno
Mhm.
Oliveira with a wicked left hook in the very first round, right? But he's facing the
Mhm.
the 7-1 African Savage, a person that his name is so great that I'm going to go ahead and have Voodoo pronounce it.
Ah! Ezuchukwu. Izuchukwu. I think it's Igbo. So in Nigeria, he's Nigerian. There's three major ethnic groups, right? There's a Yoruba, which is what I am. There's
Okay.
a Igbo, and there's Hausa. This guy is Igbo. Looking at that name, Ijuchukwu Kennedy. Yeah, Kennedy Ijuchukwu. Ijuchukwu. Now I'm looking at Ijuchukwu and African Savage. He lost by triangle choke in the past. He's primarily a striker looking at this. And his opponent is also a very good striker who happens to be Mr. Marvelous, Izzy's training partner. This
Yep.
fella, he's a phenomenal kickboxer. He's undefeated in kickboxing and in MMA. He's more polished as a striker. Unfortunately for the Nigerian Savage, I'm not 100% about his ground game. So I gotta go with the New Zealander to win this
Okay.
one by excellent mixed martial art. He is going to mix it up. Even though he's a phenomenal striker, he's going to mix it up. He's going to take him down, and he's going to work his magic on the ground. And he's with Eugene Berriman. The least path of resistance is what he's going to take. Why smash up that pretty face when you can just take him down and work your magic, right? So I see Mr. Marvelous Carlos Ulberg winning this one. I don't see him stopping the African. I see him winning by at least split decision.
I like it. I'm going to do that too. You know, because again, you can't back to back, with Jake Matthews, your teammate, and go back to the city kickboxing locker room, which I believe there's going to be a large part of the UFC Apex Center. That's just going to be the guys from that are competing from city kickboxing. So Jake Matthews is already going to come back to the back with not the best of results. So Carlos will have all the pressure on him, but I think he's going to shine like a fucking diamond. So I got Ulberg too, and yeah, decision of some sort. But whether it be split, unanimous, doesn't matter. The Mr. Marvelous is going to take it all. Damn right.
No disagreement there, brother. No disagreement.
So we have the first of what looks to be three straight 125-pound bouts, right? This is the flyweight division
Mm-hmm.
of the UFC. We
Mm-hmm.
have
Mm-hmm.
Tim Elliott, 16, 11, and 1, one of the tenured young vets of the flyweight division. He's been here forever. You know him, you love him. But he's going up against the equally tenured 15 and 8 Jordan Espinosa. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so Espinosa has lost to Alex Perez, but will beat Mark De La Rosa. Uh, yeah, I mean there aren't too many names that in terms of the opponents of one Jordan Espinosa. But when you go over to the docket of Tim Elliott, which, funny enough, he is at Glory MMA, and we know that because our good friend Don McGuire of the Fighter's Voice. Glory MMA is none other than the outfit headed up by one James Krause, as well as God, I forgot his name. Why am I forgetting the other guy's name? Zach Cummings. Zach Cummings. There you go. Those two run Glory MMA, and that is the place that the UFC featherweight women's contender Megan Anderson has pretty much staked her claim as her home here in the United States. So yeah, Tim Elliott, just recently beat Ryan Benton-Raw. He also has a win over Mark De La Rosa, wins over the Last Samurai, Luis Smolka, but lost to Demetrius Johnson the year that he basically is an Ultimate Fighter winner, the 24th season of Ultimate Fighter, where they had all of those flyweight champions of other organizations compete for the chance to face Mighty Mouse. And that's what happened. And he got thwarted by Mighty Mouse in his UFC title contention bout. But man, Tim Elliott.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue that fact with you. Yes, Tim Elliott has lost by submission, and he's lost by unanimous decision. But the people, if you look at the plethora of talent that he's lost to, I mean, come on, man. Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, Davison Figueiredo, current champion, right? Brandon Royval, he was on the way to winning that last match if his shoulder didn't pop out of place. The type of fighting that he engages in, that dynamic style, and he's a complete mixed martial artist. The boy accesses free flow at will. He accesses free flow at will. Whenever he feels like he goes into it. He got rocked by Kai Kinkara, Frank, whatever that dude's name is. And in that mode, he spins and throws an elbow. Kai Kinkara, whatever. You know what I'm saying? In that, while he was rocked, he throws a spinning elbow. That's what I'm talking about. That's accessing free flow right there. You know what I mean? He's doing what he has to when he has to do it. He's seeing all the shots, all the opportunities open up, and he's throwing the appropriate strikes to make things happen. He is new to this UFC game, but understand, he's here to stay. He is a major top 5 contender, and he's here to stay. Now, going back to this particular fight, Jordan Espinoza, he's a longtime veteran of the UFC. However, all his losses have been by submission. So understand that his opponent, Tim Elliott, is coming to him with that high level grappling game. You're going to have to knock out Tim Elliott to stop him. And if you don't knock him out, he's going to submit you. I see Tim Elliott submitting this fella, Jordan Espinoza, in the 3rd round. Most definitely. He will stop him.
Got no complaints here. Same. Tim Elliott, and wouldn't it be cool if he kind of gets that, that kind of rocket fuel and gets a couple wins under him, and he's challenging, the aforementioned Davidson Figueiredo amongst many others.
Hey,
that would be great.
Hey, they have a history. Let's run it back. You know what I mean? He just got to string together some very, very excellent wins and submissions or knockouts or whatever, and boom, we're talking about him. So Tim Elliott, get that W, get them W, string them together, and let's see what's up.
Exactly. Now, for the second of 3 straight flyweight men's title, not title bouts, but just flyweight bouts, we have Rosario Brontronin. Brontronin? Yes, there we go. Right? And somebody whose name that Voodoo loves pronouncing, one Kai Kara France. Right? Kai Kara France, also of that city kickboxing Eugene Berryman outfit, right? Number 8 ranked flyweight in the world. And he's 21-9 against Rosario, 16-2. The number 8 versus number 11. So this is a pretty linear kind of matchup. So I want to say Kai Kara by decision.
Yes, I want to say the same thing, man. But whew, this fella, man, this Brazilian, his way, this path to victory has been rear naked choke, heel hook, arm bar. He's a complete grappler. Rear naked
Yes.
choke, he can knock you out too. First round knockout, sleeper choke. I don't even know what that looks like. Well, he lost by sleeper choke actually. Elbow, standing rear naked choke. Wherever it goes, he's ready to go. He's a beast. But Kai Kara France, he's an excellent striker, very good striker. But he just lost to Brandon Royval by
Yes, he
guillotine
did.
choke. He lost to Brandon Moreno, unanimous decision. Mm, mm, I don't know. I don't know. He's lost three fights by unanimous, 4 fights by unanimous decision. But he seems to have a problem with the chokes. Rear naked choke, Bravo choke. It's the chokes, the chokes, the chokes. If he's not losing by unanimous decision, he's getting choked out. He hardly gets knocked out. He's been knocked out once, but he lost to Chad George. I'm sure Chad George choked him out too. So
Probably.
I'm gonna go on a limb and pick the Brazilian. I'm picking the Brazilian Rogerio Bontorin. Rogerio Bontorin. I'm gonna go with that guy to pull off some submission by the second round.
Wow. You mentioned Chad the Savage George, obviously one of our good friends, a staple here in the Southern California MMA scene, the head coach of CMMA and kind of co-conspirator with the kind of outfit that not only the CMMA team but also the UWF USA team led by former UFC champion Josh the War Master Barnett. So shout out to Chad George and shout out for Chad George going out to New Zealand because this happened at a regional show in New Zealand when Kai Kara France um,
Home soil.
basically fought. Yeah, so this was like literally 10 years ago. So shout out to Chad George, um, good
Mm-hmm.
friend, and check out Chad George on all of his social medias as well as the CMMA social media deals. Yeah,
Yeah.
hell yes. Now, the third, and it looks to be final flyweight contended matchup. We have former UFC flyweight title contender
Mm-hmm.
Joseph Benavidez. I didn't know that he was the beefcake. I always thought he was Jiu-Jitsu, but that's strange to me. That's why I stuttered there. But the beefcake Joseph Benavidez, right, is probably what Megan O'Leary calls him. So shout out to both of them. Uh, but he's facing a nearly undefeated 13-0-1, one draw, Askar Askarov. And man, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna go. I'm gonna vote with my heart, and my heart goes to the beefcake. I guess he is right, because Joseph Benavidez is one of my favorite flyweights of all time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Megan O'Leary is one of my favorite interviewers of all time. Somebody that I
Mm-hmm.
try to emulate.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain things that I
Mm-hmm.
can't do that she can, but even still, she is a hero of mine, as is Joseph Benavidez.
Mm-hmm.
I know probably I'm gonna eat my fucking words, but again, this one I can't vote against fucking Joseph Benavidez. Not because I don't think he's gonna win. I'm not betting anything, right? I'm not like I've got no money, right? Like if I were a betting man, my money would be Oscar Oskarov, right? But this one, I don't. I'm not betting
Mm-hmm.
money.
Mm-hmm.
Not doing that, whatever. I bet with my heart, and my heart goes to Joseph Benavidez. That's probably not what's gonna happen Saturday
All
night,
right.
but I'm just putting that out there.
I can respect that. I can respect that. I mean, Joseph Benavidez, I mean, I think he's been in there since the days of the WEC, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Let me
no,
look.
100%.
How long have
Him
you
and
been?
Faber,
Yup, WEC. He's
yeah,
been
him
in
and Faber.
Dream. I mean, Palace Fight Championship. He started in the California regional scene back in 2007, New Mexico 2006,
Hmm.
Colorado. WEC was where he made his name, right?
Yep.
He made his name right there in the WEC, and he was one of the best. The first person
Yes,
he
he.
ever lost to was Dominic Cruz. The
Yes.
second person he lost to was Dominic Cruz. Then
Yeah.
after that, he lost to Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. See the higher level competition that he's losing to? Everyone else he
Hmm.
beats easy. Guess the fourth
Yep.
person he lost to? Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson.
Yep.
And then finally he lost to Sergio Pettis, right? So
Right.
three people. He lost to two of them twice, right? Now he lost to Sergio Pettis. And then he faces Davison Figueiredo. Davison Figueiredo beat him. He didn't make weight, so he didn't get the belt.
Right.
Then they had a rematch. He beat him again, but this time he beat him decisively. He took his soul, as they say, and he finally won the title. So he lost to three people twice, but every last one of them were championship caliber fighters. So there
Yep.
you go. Sergio Pettis will probably be the only one that never
The
made it
only
to a
one.
title out of all these people that he's lost to.
But then again,
Sergio Pettis.
what is Sergio Pettis' next fight look like? You know what that is, right?
Championship match. He's looking
Yes.
forward to a championship match against none other than the Spaniard. So there you go. But this fella, Askar, when I look at Askar, Russian, the bullet Askar, there can only be one bullet. But I'm not going to argue with Askar. Askar has been, he's been doing this thing, ACB, dominating in the ACB circuit. And then he enters the UFC in 2019. But he didn't beat Brandon Moreno. He had a split decision draw. Brandon Moreno just challenged for the title. He had a
Hmm.
draw with that guy. He beat Tim Elliott. He beat Alexandre Ponteja. Unanimous
Pantoja?
decision wins. The man can wrestle. Pantoja.
Yes.
Hey, the man can absolutely wrestle. The man can take a shot. I've seen him get hit and didn't go out. He can take a shot. He can wrestle. He brings his A game. I do not know if Joseph Benavidez is able to keep up with the pace of this fella, the bullet, Askarov. He is on another level, Askarov. Joseph Benavidez is going to have to hit him with a hammer. But unfortunately, a hammer is not legal in this particular contest. So I'm going with Askarov to win this one by unanimous decision.
Now, I do agree with you that there isn't a hammer that is legal, but somehow, some way, right? You see how his wife, Megan O'Leary, she's been doing as her interviews and whatever as people are making their walkouts. Maybe she slips him the microphone, bings him in the head. There you go. In the words of Robin Black, bink, and then he wins and he goes. That's
We will see,
that.
man. Even though actually they're both top five opponents. Askarov is third, and Joseph Benavidez is fourth. So wow,
Mhm.
there you go. Um, hey, it is what it is, man. I believe Askarov is on his way on a rocket ship shooting straight for the sky, while
It
Joseph
is.
Benavidez on that escalator coming down, man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I mean, 28 wins, 7 losses. It's a lot of fights. It's a lot of fights. Many years of combat, fighting at the highest level. You know what I mean? So I thank Joseph Benavidez for his services, but that escalator is bringing him right back down to earth, man.
Yeah, I
Unfortunately.
mean, yeah, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
I'm not. I I just want to say thank you to Joseph Benavidez. Not that we're giving him his last rites or anything like that, but just thank you, because people say that shit before you die. Not saying he's gonna die. There's a possibility
Mhm.
because he's fighting a fucking almost undefeated Russian. But just thank
Mhm.
you, Joseph Benavidez, for their amazing fights. Thank you again for supporting your wife, Megan O'Leary. You guys are just like an amazing fucking MMA people, couple, whatever, and we're just glad to have you. You guys could have done anything, but you guys chose to give your talents to the world of combat sports and MMA. So I just thank you both. So
Mhm.
shout out to you, good sir. Now,
Yeah.
we have breaking out of the 125 division, we have the bantamweight division, which this is fun because obviously one of the three title fights that we're going to have up at top are going to be a bantamweight title contest. But we have the 8-1 Kyler Matrix Phillips, right? And he's going up against China's Song Yadong, who has a 16-4 record for the Kung Fu Monkey. And this one I don't know. I really don't know because Yadong has been training with Team Alpha Male. Um, but Kyler is the Matrix. He does some shit in the cage, and we're not even talking about the cage, right? Because I just happened to be scrolling across the Instagram of gratification, as I like to call it, right? And saw Kyler Phillips in his room getting ready for UFC 259, and it looked like shit. It looked like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I swear to God, when Dana White said they're testing out the psilocybins and cordyceps mushrooms and research facilities and shit, I just think that they just gave it to Kyler Phillips and his crew and let them microdose and overdose all the shit on mushrooms. So,
Yeah.
so, so this one I don't know because again they're two badasses. Kyler Phillips, he moves like he's not even human. And then Song Yadong is super exciting. I mean, the last time that we saw the Kung Fu Monkey, it was a unanimous decision win over our friend Marlon Chito Vera. Um, he basically went to a draw with Cody Stamen. Alejandro Perez, he finished with a right cross in the first round on the undercard of the John Jones Thiago Santos undercard.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, oh shit, man. I want to hear your take on it because I'm torn. I'm like Nadia
Well,
Imbruglia. I'm fucking torn, lying naked on the floor. Not literally, but figuratively.
well, there's two things that's in play here. First of all, Mr. Matrix. First of all, he's a CXF veteran. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yep.
So he's got a special place. You know what I mean? CXF veteran. I mean, what, one, two, three fights in the CXF. You know what I mean? So he's
Yep.
got a special place for one. Two, the way he fights is what I want to see in the UFC. That level of striking slash jujitsu slash wrestling, a complete fighter. That's what I want to see. I'm
Mm-hmm.
tired of all the super wrestling dominant folks. It's boring, man. It's boring. This match is my first potential fighter of the night right here, because you
I
have
like
a
it.
dynamic striker versus another dynamic striker. Now, your Dong Song, I wouldn't call him a complete dominant striker because he's primarily boxing. But I would take boxing over wrestling any day. Your Dong Song, ain't it? Your Dong, right? Your Dong Song.
I think it's like the Zhang Wei Li, right? The Wei Li and the Zhang, but Zhang Wei Li.
Song your
I think
Dong,
it's
Song your
yeah.
Dong.
The way that you made it sounded like you were singing you were Cisco and you were singing the thong song, the thong thong thong. Jesus Christ.
Your Dong Song. Your Dong Song is a very, very good boxer. He's a phenomenal boxer. I enjoy his boxing. Uh, First of all, he didn't beat Chito Vera. I don't know what those judges saw. However, he did beat a whole lot of other people that we know. You know what I mean? So we can't really take. I can't really take too much from him. But on the same token, he's a boxer, right? I gotta go with the more complete fighter. Even though he's 8-1, I'm going with the Matrix, to come through and do that Neo thing that he always does. So Kyle John Phillips, the real Street Jesus, This is the real street Jesus right here. So understand, this guy, he's gonna do something special come Saturday. You won't be disappointed. Win or lose, you are going to remember the name, The Matrix, Kyle John Phillips.
Kyle John?
Kyle John Phillips, yeah.
That's his name?
Yeah, Kyle John Phillips.
Okay, cool. Right on.
Yeah. Yeah.
10 points for him. But yes, so Shaman Steve says Matrix. So
Matrix all
I'm not
day.
Shaman Steve, Voodoo Maximus. I am not going to go against you guys. So yes, Kyler Phillips, a CXF veteran. Yeah, kudos to you. Fuck yeah, you're taking home the win. Back to the lab of Arizona. So shout out to you, good sir. Uh, shit, yeah, man. So cool. I think we've got that. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
we will go up in weight because actually, no, we're not even going up in weight because we have Casey Kenny, former LFA bantamweight champion. He won that
Mm-hmm.
against our good friend and now UFC veteran Vince the Anomaly Cachero. And
Mm-hmm.
he is going up against former UFC bantamweight champion Dominic
Mm-hmm.
the Dominator Cruz. 12,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
12 and 3 record is
Mm-hmm.
the dance of Dominic Cruz. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, you look at the amount of people that Dominic Cruz has faced and won.
Mm-hmm.
God, like all Hall of Famers, I want to say, like all of them, like
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. It's a murder's row of what
Mm-hmm.
the UFC can do. I mean, he even has a win over a free champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson back at UFC on UFC on Versus 6 Versus.
Versus.
Woo, man, that's talk about obviously the aforementioned WEC. I mean, the reason why we got a UFC on Versus 6 is because the acquiring of the WEC by the UFC that led us to Versus, which used to
Yep.
be the home of WEC. So,
Mm-hmm.
fuck, man. You know what? Again, heartstrings, Dominic Cruz. And here's the thing. I didn't even
Mm-hmm.
like Dominic Cruz up until like the whole like I was all team alpha male, right? But then when he like clapped back that alpha male has pretty much uh gone like winless in how many rounds and how many fights? And I was like, oh, sick burn and shit like
Mm-hmm.
that. So,
Mm-hmm.
and also Casey Kenny, you said some really fucked up shit, dude, on Sean O'Malley's podcast, and I mean, fuck, really fucked up shit, dude. I'm just, ooh, I don't. I mean, this one. I mean, yes, Sean O'Malley can induce some stupid ass shit for you to talk, right? But Casey's Casey's a good. I mean, by all intents and purposes, he's a good dude. Yeah. Okay. There's that. There's that. Okay. Yeah. But I just uh, Casey, why'd you say that, bro? That's why. Why, bro? Just why? That's just and here's the thing: if the shoe was on the other foot, right, and the same shit was being said about Casey Kenny in like an all-female locker room like Invicta FC, or what's happening this Saturday, Fearless Women MMA 7 live from Mexico, which you can get at fearlesswomen.com for the low price of $2.99. $2.99. You don't have to fight for a stream. $2.99 at fearlesswomen.com, and you will see some of the brightest stars in women's MMA not signed to Bellator or Invicta or the UFC. So definitely check Fearless Women. But again, I would hold Fearless Women MMA. I would hold Invicta in the same deal if they were doing the same shit that Casey Kenny said. I mean, they're doing the same shit to Casey Kenny, right? So it's not like I'm picking and choosing. Just fucked up shit. So
Okay, I
I'm
have a
gonna go
question for
with
you.
Dominator. Go ahead.
Okay, I have a question for you. If it was a bunch of women, let's say two women, talking the way Casey Kinney and the other young fellow was talking, do you think it would get the attention that it got when the guy was saying it?
Uh, that would be something that I am in my feeble brain cannot begin to fathom or speculate on. So I will. That's what I'm saying. I do know that
Even if
it, I do know if that were to happen, that would be some guys to quote Katy Perry, because I was been binge watching American Idol. It would be their teenage dream if a litany of women were talking about them that way. But it gets all weird when because we're bigger and whatever and shit like that, you know. So I don't know. Again, feeble brain,
I just want to
feeble
put
brain.
that out there. I just want to put that out there. I mean, we're not gonna get into it, but you know what I mean? It doesn't seem like the reaction will be the same that the boy is receiving. Is there a double standard? I don't know. I don't know. Well, the boys just being boys. Well, you know what I mean? If the girls said the same thing about the boys, will it receive the same negative attention that it's receiving? I don't know. I don't know. We'll just leave that
Allegedly,
there. Allegedly,
allegedly.
you feeling
I
me,
like that.
Shaman? You
10
feeling me?
points. Shaman
Shaman is
Steve
feeling
is my
me.
lawyer. Shaman Steve is my lawyer. Allegedly, all day long. Shout out to
Allegedly.
you, Shaman Steve. Fuck
Allegedly.
yeah. Shaman Steve for everything. He's my shaman.
Allegedly.
He's my spiritual guru. He's my lawyer. He's the principle I should lead my life by. So go follow Shaman Steve on all of his social medias because
That's right.
you will be engorged with greatness and spiritual vitality. Vitality through Shaman Steve. So, what would Shaman Steve do? That's my answer to your question, Voodoo. So I'm just saying. But Dominic
Oh,
Cruz for me for the win.
okay. Okay. Now, speaking of Dominic Cruz, long time fighter. I mean, I believe he was the very last the WEC 135-pound champion,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Yep.
became the very first UFC 135-pound champion. If I'm correct,
Facts.
yeah,
Facts.
the man did not lose until he faced Uriah Faber, in which he got caught in a guillotine choke and was choked out in the first round. He regretted that mistake that he made, so he went on a
It
tear.
haunted him.
He beat
Haunted him.
he beat the next he beat the next eight or nine people until he ran into Uriah Faber again, in which he beat him, and he beat him real good. After he beat Uriah Faber, he beat Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, beat him real good, and then he went in there and beat T.J. Dillashaw. Then he beat Uriah Faber again, which was when the situation that you were talking about how many rounds have you lost? The alpha male
Like
has lost to him.
he said something
So
like 180 fucking shit. I don't know what it was, but it was just like some ridiculous number. But he wasn't
yes,
wrong. That's the crazy
yes,
thing about Dominic Cruz. Like he
yes.
actually, if you hear him on commentary, one of the most brilliant minds that is in the game of MMA.
Mm-hmm,
So he
mm-hmm.
probably, I mean, whatever he said, it's almost like Scott Steiner's math promo. He's absolutely right. You break down Scott Steiner's math, fuck, whatever mathematics school that Scott Steiner and Dominic Cruz went to, sign me the fuck up because I'm literate as fuck when it comes to that shit. Just saying.
but here's the thing. After he beat Demetrius Johnson, he got injured. He had knee
Mm-hmm.
surgery. He was gone from 2011. Then he came back in 2014. He came back and he beat Mizukaki. He beat him real good. He got hurt again. Saying another knee injury. Then he was gone till from 2014 to 2016. Came back and he split decision TJ Dillashaw. He did what he had to do. He got the belt back from TJ Dillashaw. And then he beat Uriah, right? And then he faced Cody Garbrandt. Cody
Mm-hmm.
Garbrandt had his number. He had the angles. He had the perfect angles to beat him, and he beat him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then he was gone from 2016 to 2020, in which he ran into Henry Cejudo, and Henry Cejudo clowned him, beat him in the second round. Something ridiculous. Knocked him out, did what he had to do. He was still on his feet. Referee went in there and stopped the match. He was like, hey, the referee's incompetent, blah, 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 blah. But from what I saw, Henry Cejudo did his thing. It is what it is. Now, after all this time, 2021, he faces the young Casey Kenny. Casey Kenny, not bad at all, man. Not bad at all. Casey Kenny only had, what, 2 losses? He lost to Mirab, unanimous decision, and he lost to Adam Antolin, split decision.
Shout out to Adam Antolin. The fact,
shout out to Adam Antolin. Yep. And he lost to Adam Antolin in his contender series trial in 2017. He got knocked down to LFA, rebuilt himself back up, and then he came back and he faced Ray Borg on a short notice. And this has been his home. The UFC has been his home since. He beat Manny Bermudez, Louis Smoka, Haley Alateng, Nathaniel Woods. You know what I'm saying? And now he's got Dominic Cruz. Yes. Hey. He's on the rise.
Family member.
He's on the rise, man. Young Casey Kenny is on that rocket ship. And he's headed this way.
The same one that Ultimate Warrior was?
Exactly.
Rocket fuel!
Load up the rocket fuel. Load up the rocket fuel. And then you would be
Hogan!
And then you would be at parts unknown. Parts unknown. But understand, Casey Kenny is on the rise. Dominic Cruz, he's on that escalator, man. He's from WEC, man. He's on that escalator, and that escalator is going down. It's going down slowly, but it's going down. It's Casey Kenny's time, and that's Casey Kenny outworking the old Dominic Cruz. Unfortunately, Dominic, thank you for all your services. Thank you for all you've done. Thank you for your continuous effort to make the sport what we want it to be, right? You are an excellent commentator. I mean, you are top 3 best commentators ever. I'll give you that. I will give you top 3. But save what's left of your body. Save what's left of your body. End it. Stop embarrassing yourself, losing to these youngsters. You know what I mean? Your mind is sharp. Keep your mind sharp. It only takes one punch, and then you're punch drunk. Why don't you stay sharp, move on to the commentating, and just do that full time, man? I mean, you can keep training. You can keep training on the side, but commentating is your calling now. It's time to transition. It's time to, I mean, not many of these fighters, maybe 0.5% will be able to transition to commentating. Actually, maybe way less than 0.5%. You know what I mean? 0.005% will be able to transition as smoothly as you did into commentating. Don't take that route, man. Follow the signs. Follow the signs, Dominic Cruz, and give up this fighting stuff. You come on, Dominic. You know what I mean? I hope he doesn't win, because he'll think he'll got it if he wins, right? He needs to let it go. He needs to let it go. You have nothing else to prove to anyone. You're a multi-promotion champion. You held the belt for a very, very long time. There's nothing left to prove. Nothing. You will be an instant Hall of Famer. What else are you fighting for? Let it go.
Yeah.
Casey Kenny will win this one by split decision.
You know what I loved about your assessment? That you went from the ASAP race, I saw the sign and then opened up my eyes, I saw the sign, to the chick from Frozen, let it go, to make your assessment. Now, that, the Dominic Cruz loss, against TJ, well, not TJ, Cody against
Garbrandt.
Cody, right? Well, that's fun, because Dominic Cruz addressed that, right? That he didn't want one Keith Peterson to be, officiating his matchup with Casey Kenny, to which to which Keith Peterson clapped back on Twitter and was like, "Bro, I don't officiate or referee prelim fights." And I was like, "Oh, that was burned." Oh, because this is essentially the last prelim before we get to the main card. So
Whoa.
yeah, ooh, sick burn,
See,
sick burn.
that's exactly what I'm talking about right there, man. Now you got referees clowning you. You know what I mean? A referee clowning you. I bet you that guy, whatever his name is, the referee, I don't know.
Keith,
I
Keith
heard you said
Peterson.
it, but Keith Peterson. I bet you's never fought a day in his life in a cage. And you got
Ah,
that guy. Has
ah,
he?
yeah,
Does he have any?
yeah,
He's got a resume?
yeah. He's on the northeast. Yeah, like somewhere in Delaware or some whatever. Because I saw, I think MMA on Point was talking about, like, what's it uh, referees that fought, and
Okay.
Herb Dean was on there and
Okay.
whatever. Yeah, so
Okay.
he's
Okay. At least he's fought. At least he's
yeah.
fought. But I mean, this is part of what I'm talking about, man. Hey, there's a proverb. There's an African proverb, right? If you sit too long on Dookie, all sorts of dirty flies will meet you there. And that's what we have here, man. He's sitting too long on that Dookie, man. He's sitting too long on it. Now all the dirty flies are coming and buzzing around him. You know what I mean? Let it go, man. Wipe your butt and leave the restroom. Let's go, man. It's time to move on to bigger things. Come on.
Exactly. Now, speaking of, like, moving on, because we are actually in the main card of the pay-per-view portion of the card on the UFC 259 festivities, because we have the 13-2 Alexander Rankic against former UFC light heavyweight title contender Thiago Santos. Right? Thiago
Mm-hmm.
is Moreta, which
Mm-hmm.
I read as Murrieta, like over there by San Diego. But I'm kind of dyslexic when it comes to these things. But Alexander Rankic, 13-2. His last win coming over the always durable Anthony Smith, but lost against Volkan Ozdemir, but
Mm-hmm.
wins over Jimmy Manawa, Devin Clark,
Mm-hmm.
Justin Lede,
Mm-hmm.
Marcin Perchino, and that
Mm-hmm.
happened outside of the UFC. That's crazy, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then
Mm-hmm.
obviously you go Thiago Santos. He had that dust up with John Jones, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
fucked up all his shit, and then lost to Glover Teixeira in
Mm-hmm.
by rear naked choke. But he also
Mm-hmm.
has a win over Jimmy Manawa. He beat, the champ, Jan Blachowicz. You see, I've had like 8 different pronunciations of Jan's last name, and I don't know, because I thought it was Blachowicz. I heard Blachowicz, and then I've been hearing Blachowicz.
Yeah.
You know what I need right now? What I need is the one and only foreign name pronunciation class by Voodoo Maximus for one payment of $9.99.99 or 4 easy payments of $4.99.99. You can pronounce names and monikers like the great Voodoo Maximus. And you know how he started? This is fact. He pronounced his own name. Because if you know Voodoo's first and last name, you would need the four name pronunciation classes by Voodoo. So again, one payment of $9.99.99 or 4 easy payments of $4.99.99. You too will pronounce like a scholar. To my right.
Hey, starting off this main card right here with Thiago Santos and what's the young man's name? Alexander Rakic. This,
Rakic.
yeah, Rakic. This is gonna be a good one. This is when we look at Mr. Santos. Who has he lost to? Vicente Luque was the first person he lost to. Vicente, excellent hands, excellent boxer. He lost some guy named William Leonardo. Uriah Hall, dynamic striker. He lost by unanimous decision. When you have like Uriah Hall, he's got excellent footwork, lots of movement. He doesn't stick around in one place for long. He's not flat-footed. He's got dynamic whip kicks. He's got everything that you're looking for. Excellent hands, excellent kicks. He lost to that guy. Okay, he lost to Gegard Mousasi. Mousasi is an assassin. If you know Gegard Mousasi, you understand he is not to be fooled with. Another dynamic striker. Excellent jiu-jitsu, excellent wrestling, excellent everywhere. He is a complete
Bellator
fighter.
champ. Bellator champ.
He's a current Bellator champ. Yeah. If you watch his last fight against the Red King, what's his name again? The Red King? Rory McDonald. Yeah. Actually, that wasn't his last one. But he dominated Rory McDonald, and he also dominated the 170-pound champion also. What's his name? Whoever the Brazilian guy, their 170-pound champion. He throws a lot of leg kicks. Lima dominated Lima. The guy is a complete fighter. So he lost to that guy as well. Eric Spicely. He lost by rear naked choke. I'm not sure who Eric Spicely is, but David Branch, he lost to him too. David Branch, he's is he a European?
No, David Branch is from Brooklyn. He's a former.
But
David Branch is a former before the PFL. It was the World Series of Fight. Yeah, former World Series of Fight champion, a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
That's right. I remember that guy now.
The one that got KO'd by Rockhold.
Yes. Yeah. And he's got great hands. I remember he's got great hands. He's got good movement. He understands distance. So that guy beat him as well. And then the second to last person he lost to, John Jones. Excellent distance management. Glover Teixeira. Excellent distance management. Took him to the ground in the third. He choked him out. Now, Rankic, another dynamic striker. Phenomenal striker. Love his speed, distance control. Future of the division. He recently lost to Volkan Ozdemir.
Ozdemir,
yeah. You know, Ozdemir. It is what it is. But, you know, he came back and he beat Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith is another complete fighter. But Anthony Smith is missing one thing. He's missing dynamic striking. He's missing the ability to enter into free flow. This kid, Rakic, can enter free flow when he's focused. If he uses his footwork really well, Thiago Santos, he likes to bum rush you and knock you out as soon as possible. But if Rakic can take him into the third round, Rakic can finish him. I believe he can finish him. I see some kind of spinning roundhouse kick or something like that to the head, finishing Thiago Santos. So I'm going with Mr. Rakic to win this one in the third round by KO.
I do. Yeah, I'm like, I actually think that all of Thiago Santos' shit that got fucked up is still fucked up. So
he's not 100%.
I too, because here's the thing, Thiago Santos, if you Google a picture of the gentleman, he is a brick fucking house, man. So he has that aggressive fucking style, right? But I don't think you can keep that pace up for as big as he is for as long as a 3-fight duration. He's done it before, but it just isn't pretty, right? Rankic is going to thwart everything. Everything. So I too have one Alexander Rankic.
And by the way, one thing to expect from Rankic is those calf kicks. It's going to be a lot of kicks to the knee, that injured knee, lots of kicks to there, and lots of calf kicks. You got to immobilize this juggernaut. You got to immobilize the juggernaut. If you remember in the X-Men, the only way to stop the juggernaut is to stop his momentum. Once you stop his momentum, he becomes an average Joe. But if he's in motion, he's going to run through everything. Rankic is going to he's going to chop at the legs. He's going to run when he has to, chop the legs. Once he immobilizes that front leg or whatever leg it is, he's going to take him out with a head kick.
Yeah, facts, facts. I agree. Voodoo Maximus says Rankick is going to brutalize the shit out of Juan Thiago Santos's nose or legs. Why did I say nose? I have no idea. But yeah, he's gonna brutalize the shit out of Santos's his legs, right?
Yes, indeed. He's gonna chop him down and then take him out.
Yeah, yeah. So yep, I got Rankick too. Fuck it. Rank kick all the way. Sorry, Thiago Santos. Wrong motherfucking day. Wrong motherfucking dude. So I'm just saying. Yeah, yeah. And now going down in weight, we have Russia's Islam Makhachev, who is 18-1 against the 23-9 Drew Dober. Drew Dober, a Strikeforce veteran, Elevation Fight Team member, has wins over Alexander Hernandez, Frank Camacho, Josh Berkman, Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman, TJ O'Brien. Shit. He has been in there for a while. Obviously, a UFC Ultimate Fighter Season 15 competitor, right? And he is going up against Islam Makhachev, which Makhachev is a Jesus. He's a what do you call those things? A Swiss Army knife of MMA, brutality. He has rear naked chokes. He's got decision wins. He's got he's got KOs over other Russian fighters. How can you be a badass Russian and knock the shit out of other badass Russians? But guess what? He does. Hell, he has a knockout win over Gleason Tebow, which if you've seen Gleason Tebow, holy fuck, there ain't nothing. He looks like one of those the fucking
Tanks.
Oh, I was gonna say one of those things off of the damn Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that they would fight.
Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's what he looked like. He looked like fucking Rocksteady. No, he looked like Bebop. I'm sorry. Yeah, he looked like Bebop. Or the Street Sharks. Gleason T-Bob looks like a real fucking Street Shark. He looked like Big Slamu,
Yeah.
And yeah, so shit, man. I'm going with Islam Makhachev. That's
easy.
sorry.
Easy.
Yeah, sorry.
Hey, let me tell you about Islam Makhachev. Islam Makhachev is slightly better than Khabib. Yes, he's slightly better. Islam has all the wrestling he needs to be competitive in this division. Next to Khabib, Islam's got the next best wrestling in this division. I'll give him that. Next to Khabib, he's got the next best wrestling in this division. However, he's got something better than Khabib. He's got that lead leg, man. He can throw that lead leg from anywhere at any time, and he's got decent power in his hands. Islam is going to wrestle Drew Dober. He's going to wrestle him for the first and second round, maybe halfway into the second round, and then he's going to release his dynamic striking. Islam has got dynamic striking. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. The only chance Drew Dober has is to put his lights out, and I do not see that happening. I do not see that happening. He's going to wrestle the heck out of him that whole first 5 minutes, put some blood in his arms and legs, lactic acid buildup, and then he's in the second round, maybe halfway into the second round, then he's going to start his assault. His hands and feet, it's going to start flying. He might need to engage that wrestling once more, but I see in the third round, I see Islam going in there, and attempting to make a statement. To make a statement in the lightweight division, you got to knock folks out. You got to be dynamic. You got to knock them out with your hands. You got to knock them out with your feet. Yeah. Laying on folks will get you the win, but it won't get you the recognition that you're looking for in the 155-pound division, in the lightweight division in UFC. Look at the last few fights that you've seen. It's been knockouts. People have been getting knocked out left and right in the UFC, in the lightweight division. If Islam wants to insert himself in the top 5, wants to insert himself in the top 10, he needs to be dynamic, in and out. He's got to be a complete fighter to win this match, but to be at the highest level, he's got to knock folks out, and I'm sure he knows that. He's got the striking to do it. He's got it. Now let's see him go in there and execute. I see Islam with some kind of knockout in the 3rd round.
Yep. Don't disagree with you there. Don't at all. So now we are at one of 3 UFC title bouts. We have the contender, Aljamain the Funkmaster Sterling, and he is 19-3, and he's going up against the current reigning and defending UFC bantamweight champion, the 15-1 Petr Yan. And I don't know how it's going to happen. I say the champ defense. Here's the thing. The only in these 3 title fights, just kind of a spoiler alert, folks, but the champion retains except for Israel and Yan. That's the only time that the champ doesn't retain, in my pick. So, don't know how it's going to happen, but I just know that it's going to happen. Petr Yan over Aljamain Sterling. But what say you, Voodoo Maximus?
Well, this fella, Aljamain Sterling, deserves a look at. He deserves a look at. We will look at him in his amateur days. He had 2, 4, 6, 7 fights. He lost 1. Okay. Yeah. So early on, he's been a good fighter, right? And then he went into his professional career, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. He won 12 fights before he ran into Brian Caraway, in which he lost by split decision in his 5th match in the UFC. He's been in the UFC since 2014. Okay, he came from CFFC.
Yep.
He's primarily a grappler. Lots of submission wins. Unanimous decision. Submission. And he got 1 knockout punch. I'm guessing it was like one of those overhand, you know what I mean, knockout in the 1st round, and he knocked it. But primarily, he's a submission artist, right? We have Petr Yan, the current champion. He's only got 1 loss himself. Split decision loss. As an amateur, he was hit with a spinning back fist that knocked him out in the 2nd round. So he learned as an amateur not to lose to these. Okay? Now, he's been knocking folks out since. All those unanimous decision wins that you see on his record has been against wrestlers, right? He lost 1 split decision to a wrestler, Magomedov, right? Yep. Another Russian. You know about these, I mean, they were both undefeated when he lost. The guy was 11-0, he was 5-0. So the guy Magomed had clearly more experience. But since then, he's been on the path of destruction. He went back and he fought Magomedov again, and he beat him this time. Right? So he got that loss back. So as far as I'm concerned, he's undefeated now because he got that loss back. Now, he entered the UFC. Ishihara knocked him out. Jing Song, unanimous decision. Andrade, 2nd round stoppage. Dobson, unanimous decision. Jimmy Rivera, unanimous decision. Uriah Faber knocked him out, took the title. Jose Aldo finished him in the 5th round. Aljamain Sterling is next. Aljamain is going to try and wrestle him and try and take him to the ground and try and pull off some submission. Petr Yan has been there before. The man is no mercy. Come Saturday, there will be no mercy. Aljamain, he's over there cracking jokes, thinking this is Goodfellas. This ain't Goodfellas, homeboy. This ain't Goodfellas. What's that movie by Arnold Schwarzenegger? He was that Russian officer that came to Los Angeles. He had that flat top. He was a Russian officer. Raw deal. This
James
is
Silent
Raw
Bob?
Deal. No, it's Raw Deal. I just remembered. Raw Deal. This is Raw Deal, Aljamain Sterling. This isn't that Goodfellas fake movie. This is Raw Deal. And you're about to get the Raw Deal from Mr. No Mercy. He's not playing with you. He's not playing with you. This isn't a game to him. The man comes from Russia. Plants don't grow in Russia. And when they do grow, it's tough plants. You're not going to get pineapples, apples, grapes, all that good stuff. You're not going to get that in Russia. Those things are imported. This man is hardened. He comes from a second world. He comes from a second world, not a first world, a second world. He comes from a second world, but where he's from, it's a third world. So understand, he's not coming all the way to Las Vegas to lose to you, Mr. First World. You think this is a joke? You think this is a joke? This ain't no joke, man. The sooner you understand that, the better off you're going to be. Because the man, No Mercy, is coming to stop you and put your lights out. Aljamain Sterling will go to sleep no later than the 4th round.
Yep. Took the words right out of my mouth. I agree. Fuck. I mean, there's nothing more to say. There's nothing more to say. But there is something to say because we are at the co-main events of the evening. We have former Invicta featherweight champion, one Megan Anderson, right? Megan, can't even remember. Yep, it's just Megan Anderson. I thought she had a nickname, but she doesn't. 10-4, and she goes up against the reigning and defending, not just UFC featherweight champion, but also the concurrent UFC bantamweight champion, Amanda Leona Nunes, right? The Lioness, Leona. Same difference. But yes, I mean, do I have to run down Amanda Nunes' resume and pedigree? Guess what? Think of a female fighter that you think is a future Hall of Famer, the greatest of all time. She's finished them all. That's all I'm gonna say. And Megan Anderson, I love it. She is training at Glory MMA out there in Missouri with Zach Cummings and James Krause and a litany of others. She's got a teammate fighting on the card, but it's not going to make a difference. I mean, I agree that we're probably going to see the best Megan Anderson that we've ever seen. We are, without a doubt. Megan has worked way hard to get to this 145-pound title shot. She's wanted it ever since Chris Cyborg was here and champion, right? But not gonna happen. You thought Chris Cyborg is scary? And Chris Cyborg is a nice human being unless you want to take one of her belts away, right? But hell, Amanda Nunes took one of Chris Cyborg's belts away in the most static of fashions. Hell, Amanda Nunes hated the fact that it was moved from Vegas to LA because she couldn't buy her wife, Ansaroff, a car, right? Because of the tax kind of difference between California and Nevada, right? So Amanda Nunes is nice to you. Nobody, not Misha Tate, not Ronda Rousey, not Holly Holm, not Chris Cyborg, nobody has a damn bad word to say about her. Nobody at the gym at American Top Team, nobody, whatever. But she's the nicest brutalizer that you're going to get. So the champ retains. Amanda Nunes will reign for forevermore. It's like a Whitesnake album. It's forevermore. That's that shit. It ain't here I go again on my own. Hell no. Amanda is taking that back along with her wife Nina Ansaroff, along with that baby, the cutest baby, one baby Nunes, and she's gonna go back to Florida with a nice fat bunch of checks in her pocket, probably direct deposited, and she's gonna live tax free in Florida. So Amanda Nunes for the win.
Yes. Just to give you, for those of you who are new to mixed martial arts, first of all, like, share, and subscribe this broadcast, and hit that notification button. For those of you who are not familiar with Amanda Nunes, she started off a career in 2008. She lost her first match, and then she went on that win streak, 2, 4, 6, 7 fight win streak, and then she went to Strikeforce. Second fight in Strikeforce, she ran into Alexa Davis, a very good grappler. She lost by
Alexis Davis, yeah.
punches. Yeah. And then she got a win back. She went to Invicta after that, got a win. Then she ran into Sarah D. Alelio. She lost by unanimous decision.
Yeah.
And then she got in there. She left the Invicta, went to UFC in 2013, and put 2 fights together, first round knockouts. And she ran into the crazy Kat Zingano. Kat Zingano put it on her. Kat Zingano took her into the deep waters and drowned her, finishing her in the third round, right? Amanda Nunes shook it off, came back the following year, and strung together some serious wins. She beat Shayna Baszler, Sarah McMahon, Valentina Shevchenko, Misha Tate. Took the belt from Misha Tate. The belt that Misha Tate took from what's her name? Holly Holm. Who took the belt from Ronda Rousey, right?
Yeah.
So in a very short time, the belt came back around, and she was able to take it from Misha Tate, right? Ronda Rousey was being pushed. She's coming back because Holly Holmes knocked her out, so she was gone for like a year or so. So they're pushing her. Hey, Ronda Rousey's back. She's coming back. You know what I mean? And Amanda Nunes is like, all right. Amanda Nunes went in there and mangled her in 48 seconds. Just beat her like a stepchild. Beat her like Cinderella. Cinderella used to get beat. Beat her like that. Put her out of MMA, period. Beat her out of MMA. You know what I mean? And then she went in there against Valentina, beat Valentina again, another split decision. First one was unanimous. Second one was closer. Split decision. She utilized lots of great wrestling in that matchup. So, wrestling, keep that in mind. And then she went in there against Raquel Pennington, beat her down for 5 rounds. Oh, I felt so bad for her. And then she went in there against Chris Cyborg. 51 seconds, put her lights out. 2-time champion, 135 and 145. Then she went in there against Holly Holmes. Holly Holmes wanted to fight her at 135. She said, cool, man, hold my drink. Hold my drink. She went in there and knocked out Holly Holmes in the first round. And then she got a rematch against Jermaine Durandamy. Jermaine Durandamy has gotten better, but her wrestling is not so great. Was taken down to the ground, kept on the ground, and controlled. She lost by unanimous decision. Still winning. Went in there against Felicia Spencer, controlled the entire match. Didn't break a sweat. Unanimous decision win. 5 rounds of dominance. Now we've got Megan Anderson. Megan Anderson, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Megan, what? She only has 2 losses, right? Megan Anderson. Megan Anderson lost to Holly Holmes, who got knocked out in the first round. 4
losses.
Okay. Yeah, those 2 people that she lost to in the beginning, forget about it. I'm not even gonna go there. Think about Holly Holmes. Holly Holmes is a UFC champion, former champion. First round knockout. Felicia Spencer, last person that Amanda Nunes fought. Felicia Spencer beat Megan Anderson. First round, right? Amanda Nunes toyed with Felicia Spencer, broke her nose, did all sorts of things to her, just clowned her, right? Now, Megan Anderson, strung together 2-fight win streak against whoever. Now she's in there. Now she's in there against the Wolf. But what she doesn't realize is she's in there as sheep among wolves. The wolf. She is a sheep stuck in a cage with the wolf. Calls herself a lioness, but follow the narrative. This is the only wolf in women's fighting right now. Most dominant. Most dominant. On her way to becoming the GOAT of all time. She still has to put in work, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. She still has to put in work. But as long as she keeps smashing people, she will be the greatest of all time. Megan Anderson is next, and Megan Anderson will fall. How will Megan Anderson fall? She will fall to the calf kick, and she will fall to the superb wrestling that Amanda Nunes will be bringing to the table. You'll see some body shots, but Amanda Nunes is now a family person. She has a child now. She has a family now. She won't be looking forward to exchanging blows. She won't be looking forward to that. The least path to the least resistance to victory is what she's gonna take. You're gonna see calf kicks. You'll see some body shots, right? Megan Anderson has a height advantage. She's looking up at her. Doesn't matter. Calf kicks to slow her down. Wrestling to take her to the ground. Finish her on the ground. I see Megan Anderson being stopped no later than the 4th round.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, yeah. And again, this is nothing against Glory MMA. This is nothing against Megan Anderson. I think they're phenomenal. All people involved. It's just dominant. That's what Amanda Nunes is battling her own greatness. Like they're talking, and I hate that they're talking like this, but they're looking at abolishing this being the final women's featherweight title contest because she's just ran through everybody, and I hope that's not the truth. That's a nasty little rumor, but I believe everybody should play. I believe there should be a hell bring an all steroids division and bring Gabby Garcia over allegedly, right? Allegedly, you know. But I just want everybody to compete. Anybody that wants to do this should be able to do this, So, and
Hey, it's interesting that you say that. Even if they did bring Gabby Garcia over and make it an open weight class fight, Gabby will fall. Gabby will fall easily. Gabby will fall by the 2nd round. It will be too easy. She's too slow, too big, too slow. Amanda Nunes, her greatest asset that she brings to the table is the hand speed. If you watch her highlights, the hand speed, oh my goodness, the way she took out Cyborg. For every 3 hits, for every one of Cyborg hits, she's landing 3 shots. The hand speed is second to none. And the power in both hands that she's bringing to the table, these women can't handle it. I see her knocking men out. I
yes,
believe if men got in there with her, she would knock them out as well.
yep.
She might lose some, but I believe she can knock out men with her hand
Oh,
power.
it's not even
Her.
not even. She'll
You
knock
know
me out,
what I
100%.
mean? So if Gabby Garcia was to get in there with her, she will fall. Actually, I see her falling in the 1st round, actually. Not even the 2nd. She will fall in the 1st. Easily. Easily. It'll be too easy. Too easy.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so Nunes, she's probably gonna finish
Nunes.
Megan. Megan, no, it's not 4th round. Give Megan. I like it. Let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
4th round, Megan and Amanda Nunes. And whether Nunes retires, takes that boxing match or whatever, I, the fact of the matter is, we're gonna see a very finite amount of Amanda Nunes UFC fights. Amanda Nunes, and rightfully so, is much like Conor McGregor in and Joe Rogan, right? Relish the time that you will see them involved with the UFC and MMA in general, because once they go on, never again. We're not talking about come back. We're not going to be begging you to come back. They have done everything in their power to make sure that their vitality beyond fighting is assured for their families. Rogan has a family, Nunes has a family, Connor's got a family. So that's it. You
I,
win. You win.
Yeah, I actually agree with you 100%. If Amanda Nunes was interested, she could be the biggest thing in the United States right now,
Yeah.
especially based on where things are headed right now. You know what I mean? She's got a huge market that she hasn't even tapped into yet. The LGBTQ community,
Yep.
they
I,
will sponsor her to oblivion and back. But she's not interested in
I,
cash. I don't believe she's interested in cash because she could have truckloads of hundreds pulling up, dropping loads off, leaving and coming back and dropping more off if that's what she wanted. She could be an ambassador. But I don't believe she's interested. I mean, she's talking
I,
about retirement.
I, okay. Here's the fun thing. Here is the facts. VWME IMG Group, that is the parent company to the UFC, one of the biggest talent agencies in Hollywood, if not the world, right? Facts. Where their headquarters is in Century City is literally less than 3 miles on the same street as the heart of West Hollywood. Arguably the biggest and most prominent LGBTQ community outside of San Francisco, outside of the Castro in San Diego, and what have you. So yeah, it's a travesty.
That
I don't think it's Amanda's fault. I think it's the UFC's fault because
uh,
Joe Rogan said it himself. It's like if I were the UFC and WME, I would have Amanda Nunes posters on both sides of West Hollywood coming in front of the whiskey. Bam,
mhm, mhm.
Amanda Nunes everywhere. They've they've failed. They failed to promote her.
I
Because
I
she's mass
believe.
media now. She's on embedded. She's on the countdowns. It's not like she can't
Speaking
do it.
English.
Yes,
Speaking English.
yes. And she's even though she's not the typical girl next door, but she has that like almost like oh shucks, kind of demeanor about her. She is the girl next door, right? The girl next door that also happens to be, probably the baddest, female fighter that there ever lived. Go ask Layla Ali. Go ask Chris Sarbo. Go ask Ronda Rousey, Holly Holm, Misha Tate. All greats, but they will say Nunes is the best.
She beat our ass. That's what
Yeah,
they would say.
neat,
They would
neat.
say that she whooped all our asses.
Amanda's the best. So that's it. So I think it's a
Yeah.
travesty that they're not promoting her because you can do shit. It's not like it's the Diaz brothers running around in Stockton, right? Sending the fucking UFC camera crew all over Stockton or whatever. And no disrespect to the Diaz brothers because I see they were right. They fucking played the game. Kudos to you, Diaz
Mhm.
brothers. But yeah, so Amanda Nunes,
You know what I think,
great.
man? You know what I think?
God,
I truly believe I will bank. I will put money on this. I believe Amanda's not interested. There's nothing else makes sense. Nothing else makes sense. I mean,
but she does it though.
how could the UFC not see
She's
the
got
potential here?
sponsors.
Huh?
She's got
I think
she's got
uh,
sponsored. When she's
yes,
not in Reebok gear, she's wearing
mhm,
her Amanda Nunes brand
true,
T-shirts. So
true.
I don't think it's that because all
I,
you got to do is fucking put a camera on
right,
her. That's
right.
it. Look at
But
Masvidal, same thing. It's not
yeah,
like Amanda Nunes is sitting in the fucking editing bay putting vlogs together. No,
yeah.
fuck.
What I'm saying is, I think she's okay with the little that she has. I think she's one of those kind of people who has. If she says right now, I'm looking for sponsors, millions and millions will be put on the table. She can
Yeah,
go on Instagram and say that, and millions will be on the table. There's a lot of money out there from the LGBT community. I mean, Black Lives Matter alone raised $90 million over the whole fiasco during the protest. $90 million was raised.
yeah.
90 million. Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
They raised $90 million.
Mm-hmm.
There's money out there, man. I don't believe she's interested. That's the only thing that makes sense. She can't be interested in money. Money is not her thing. I mean, she's already talking about retiring. She must have enough to retire on,
I
you
mean,
know? It doesn't make
I don't know.
sense, but hey, do you?
I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but again, I just think Amanda is the GOAT. Where
Yeah.
it's disputed in terms of the men and whatever. No, Amanda, in terms of the females, she's the greatest of all time. She's got the championships and the names, the heads to prove it. So shout out to Amanda, and thank you. And not to say that she's going anywhere, but she might. And her UFC career could be done after
Could be
this.
over.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
shout out to Amanda. Thank you, thank you. If this is the last ride, thank you, Amanda.
Hey,
But
but the thing is, she's so good that she could come back in 5 years and still be competitive.
don't want to see it.
I mean, yeah,
I don't want
I mean,
anybody.
we.
I don't want
It,
anybody to come back.
yeah, no. I'm not saying.
CTE. I don't want
I'm not
anybody to
saying
come back
come back.
unless they
I'm
got
not saying come back. I'm
Ian
saying
McCall and fucking Dean Lister with a shit ton of mushrooms and shit like that, fearing that
yeah,
they're gonna reverse all of that shit. Like
yeah,
all of the fucking brain trauma. I'm
right.
good. Nobody come back.
Yeah,
Nobody come back.
what I'm saying is her level right now is so high that she could leave for 5 years, come back, and still be at the top of the
Oh yeah,
game.
100%, hundred
Most
percent.
definitely.
But then it might be fucking robots. This shit could look like Robot Wars or Real Steel in 5 years. I don't fucking know. You know. But what I do know is we are at the main event of the evening. We have UFC welterweight champion Israel, the last stylebender, Adesanya, and he is going up against the reigning, defending UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, Jan Blachowicz. And I don't need to. I mean, these two have put away the very best in their respective divisions, but Izzy obviously stepping up in weight, and I believe is a quest for his immortality. Because yes, Connor, DC, Amanda, right, all double champions, right? I think Izzy is on the quest for the very first, and probably never to be done again, three division simultaneous UFC champion, right? This is
Yes.
step two. He's already claimed the middleweight belt, and then that was step one, and the light heavyweight belt. Then he goes to heavy for the all lucrative, all elusive fight with John Jones, assuming John Jones can get his, in the words of DC, get his shit together. And
Hmm.
nothing against John Jones, that's just DC's euphemism. But we go from there, right? And assuming a lot of things like Stipe loses the title to whoever, and then John Jones steps up, beats the shit out of whoever's the champion, and then by year's end or early next year, we have Izzy and John for the heavyweight title, and Izzy probably, depending if he hasn't necessarily taken a lot of damage, he might be even defending one of the titles that he wins after Saturday, come, I don't know, end of the year. We don't know.
Or maybe
We should.
summer.
Right, exactly. So, um, nothing against Jan Blachowicz, which, much like Amanda Nunes, is stepping into the cage not only as champion, but as a new father of a bouncing baby boy. But I don't know, man. I like the Conqueror. I liked when Eddie Alvarez came to the UFC as former Bellator champion and coming over and fucking wrecking shit and getting himself a UFC title. I like Michael Chandler, former Bellator champion, coming over and wrecking shit. I like Gaethje, former World Series of Fight champion, coming over and wrecking shit, right? And getting belts, right? So I want Izzy, and I'm not even an Izzy fan. There's something about Izzy that I just do not fucking like. But I will not let my bias go against what history could be made. And I think Izzy can make history and be the UFC's first ever three three division simultaneous champion in the scariest divisions. 155. What is it? Or is it 170? 170,
Mm-hmm.
205, and heavyweight. Shit.
185.
That's what. 185. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
185, 205, 265 up. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going in the side of history. I want Izzy to finish Blachowicz.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I mean, Jan Blachowicz. Blachowicz. He's earned his way to the top. He's fought the who's who in the UFC. He's lost some and he's won some. He even beat our guy, Dominic Reyes, to
Mm-hmm.
actually ascend the throne. And now he sits on the throne that John Jones vacated, and he's the man now. He's the man. There will always be in our minds that he is actually an interim champion because John was never defeated.
But,
But we will give him his props
yeah.
and say he is the champ. The last person he lost to was Thiago Santos, who is opening the card this time around. But
Yeah.
he went in there and he beat Luke Rockhold. He beat Ronaldo Sosa. He beat Corey Anderson, severe knockout, right hook.
Oh, yeah.
And then he beat our boy Dominic Reyes. Now he's facing Israel Adesanya from Lagos, Nigeria, where I grew up.
Wow.
Oh yeah, same city. The kid is undefeated. The kid will be giving away lots of weight. Let's say 20 pounds. He'll be giving away 20 pounds. But there's, like he will say, quote, there's a method to his madness.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He's absolutely relying on his speed to get the job done.
Yep.
Blachowicz, to win his fight against this young man, he's going to have to cut the cage and he's got to have quick feet. Blachowicz doesn't move that fast. He doesn't move that fast. He moves, but he doesn't move fast enough, which is why the kid wanted the fight. He knows he can outmove him. He can outmove him. Now, understand, if Blachowicz touches you, you're going to sleep.
You're dead.
You're going to sleep. He's a very, very big human being. I mean, he's going to weigh in at 205, but come fight night, he says he's going to be at 219, 220. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Okay.
Even at 219, 220, he's going to be at least 20 pounds bigger than Izzy. But Izzy is being projected to weigh about 193, 195 at the most come fight night. Come cage. 195. And he's already given off 10 pounds. He wouldn't even make weight. He's underweight, right? But it's okay. That's what he wants to do. And I'm okay with it too. Blachowicz is going to fill back up and go to at least 219, 220, plus 10, some 30 pounds. So his thing is, he wants to get a hold of Izzy, put him on the fence, put his weight on him, make Izzy carry him, and if he can, take him to the ground and submit him. He says he's gonna head kick him in the second round. First of all, catch him to head kick him. You got to be able to cut him off fast enough such that you put a combination together that's gonna knock him out. I don't see that happening. I see this fight. If this fight ends before the time limit, if it ends before the time, it's because Izzy got caught. But the chances of Izzy getting caught is so low that I believe this fight will go 25 minutes and Izzy is going to dominate every single round. It's going to be like point karate. Don't expect a slugfest, people. Expect something boring. To the average fan, it's gonna be a boring main event. Understand that. It won't be to the
Really?
average fan. To the fan that wants like knockouts and all that, you're not gonna see that. Izzy is not gonna stick around long enough for that man to knock him out. It's gonna be lots of footwork. It's gonna be stick and move like Muhammad Ali. It's gonna be 12 rounds of boxing, but in MMA, it's gonna be 5 rounds of 25 minutes of dynamic striking, excellent kickboxing. But I just don't see Izzy knocking out Blachowicz. I don't see it happening. I don't see him
Really?
knocking him out. Blachowicz is a big human being, and Izzy
Yes,
is
he is.
small. Yeah, I just don't see it. But I do see Izzy dominating. He will dominate based on his footwork. He will kick the leg a lot. Blachowicz's leg, he will kick it. He will chop him down and run, chop and run, chop and run. But I
Okay.
just don't see Izzy knocking him out, and I don't see Blachowicz submitting or taking him down to the ground. I don't see it. I don't see him catching the kid. The kid is too fast. This is why he's choosing to remain light for this bout. He wants his speed to remain intact. He wants to be Sonic the Hedgehog in this one. Stick and move. Stick. Hey, hey, hey. It's like Biggie said. Biggie said, treat it like boxing. Stick and move. Stick and move. That's what you're going to see in this
Bro,
matchup. Yes.
they're the same. Here, let's see if I can pull this up. Let's see
Let's
if I
pull it up.
can. Wait. And Addis. Hey, Woods, my boy. Shout out to Addis.
What's up,
And
Addis?
Khabib Khabib would wreck some of these guys, and my
Yeah.
boy Woods wreck. Ha! I'm just saying. I got Izzy because when I look at, let's see if I can pull this up here.
Mm-hmm.
To share screen. It is. There's a bunch of it. Let's see. Where did it go? I fucking had it. But Izzy and Jan,
Mm-hmm.
like, they're
Same
almost
height.
the same height. I mean,
Yeah,
Izzy's
Izzy's
actually
taller.
taller.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this whole thing, I think this is a perfect fight for Izzy. I think this is a perfect fight for Izzy.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's
It.
fast. He's,
Yeah. It's gonna be
you
a
know,
highlight reel fight for him. He's gonna, he's gonna put together some excellent strikes, but if he wants to win, he doesn't want to fool around with this guy. This guy is way stronger than him. If he gets a hold of him, it's gonna be a long 5 minutes in that round. If he doesn't get submitted, you know what I mean. But if he sticks and moves, man, and if he keeps it simple, all he has to do is keep it simple. It's very easy to win this match. That's why he's so confident. All he has to do is keep it simple. Don't do too much. Don't try and look for the knockout or anything. If the knockout comes, then take it. But his key to victory here,
see, they're the same
yeah,
height.
I see. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
they're the same size. They're the same
yeah.
size.
So
But Blockowitz is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. You don't want him. Hey, man. Hey, just last week, Galvan, the Brazilian guy that gave Izzy his belt, just last week he got slapped, right? He got slapped. And as soon as he got slapped, all his students got demoted one belt rank. So Izzy, he went back from purple, he went right back to blue. So you got
oh
a blue
yeah,
belt. Yeah. You got you got a blue belt going against a legitimate
Gal-
black belt. You
Galval.
got a
Oh,
yeah,
Galval.
Galval, yeah. Once he got slapped and he did absolutely nothing, you know what I'm saying? All his students lost rank. They lost one rank. They all dropped down one rank. So Izzy's a blue belt in there going against this black belt beast of a man that hangs out in freezing water for fun with a smile on his face.
Okay.
This is not your average Joe. This is not your average human being. And he seemed to have found himself. You know what I mean? Within this last 5, 6 fights of his, he's
Okay.
found himself. He's found his path to victory. You know what I mean? He knows how to win now. Now, Izzy's only advantage here is his speed. His speed will not deceive him if he does not deceive himself,
Okay.
right? If he gets a big head in there, he's going to sleep. I mean,
Oh yeah.
he can ask Alexander Pareja. You know what I mean? That left hook that sent him to the shadow realm. Alex Pareja. He can ask Alex Pareja, that left hook that sent him to the shadow realm. If he thought that was bad, Blachowicz would knock his head completely clean off if he doesn't watch out. If he doesn't watch out, his head will come completely off if he doesn't watch out. So that's my take.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think in terms of the footwork of Izzy is going to, I don't know, it's going to astound Jan. And again, the Polish Power, there could only be one Polish Power, and that's Ivan Putski, WWF Hall of Famer. So,
Yes.
uh, Blon, he might be Polish Power or whatever. He doesn't have I mean, that Polish fucking sledgehammer that one Putski had. So, like I said, I think the footwork of Izzy that's going to tell the story. So I'm going Izzy, and like I said, I don't even like Izzy. Like I'm not, I want Izzy to win and win the heavyweight title, so he can go mosey on to another horse. I don't want him in my MMA anymore. He's just he's just not he's not my style of dude, right? He might be other people's. If he's your style of dude, kudos to you, shout out to you. But I
Hey,
just
hey, let me tell you something. Izzy was born the year I left Nigeria to come back to America.
wow.
He's just a kid. That's why
Yeah.
he does those things that he does that rubs most people the wrong way. People our age can't understand it, but when you really think about it, even though he's doing adult things, he's just a child, really. What is he? How old is he? Let me see. How old is he?
Penguin age. Addis says
There you
penguin.
go. Penguin age. Hey, dude was born in '89, man. He's 31. He's just a kid. He's just a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he still got some living to do.
I know. I know. I don't I don't like him. But
I
like
get
I
it.
said, I'm not gonna stand in the way of history, and I want Izzy to make history not just tonight, but whatever heavyweight kind of things percolate. So that's all I'm saying, is what I'm saying. So we shall see. But one
We
thing that
will
we're going
see.
to see is you guys on Sunday when we will kind of run down all of the happenings on UFC 259. But before we go, we definitely want to shout out because UFC 259 isn't the only MMA thing that's happening right now. I want to turn the attention to Fearless Women MMA. And right on the website, fearlesswomenmma.com, you can get this spectacular pay per view card for only $2.99 US. Literally, you go here to the tab, live stream, right? And you'll see all of these awesome graphics, and you go down $3.99, less than $5, right? With taxes, depending on where you live, you can get it. You can get Fearless Women's card that will feature some of, we're talking about Amanda Nunes and her greatness, right? But you can see the sports future stars on this card for less than $5. So I warmly encourage you to go ahead and purchase Fearless7, hashtag Fearless7, um, coming to you live from Mexico. And so shout out to Fearless Women. Now, Otis, before we go, he says, I feel like some of the problem is if they want to become famous more than great, right? They
Hmm.
don't do the sport with any love. More like it's for fame and money. No, 100%. I mean, I,
I,
I'm not sure what Izzy's thing is, honestly.
Mr. Addis, um, I totally understand why they're doing that because I mean, look at how much revenue is brought in, right? How much are the fighters getting? They have to be hyper focused on the money, man. I mean, they're going in there and they're breaking their bodies, right? If they were getting compensated like the football players and the basketball players, the love for greatness will be a lot higher. But they're getting chump change. I mean, the undercard, those guys are probably gonna get like 5,000 or 10,000 a fight, 10,000 a win. What's that?
Yeah.
What's that? And he's got a broken orbital, a fractured
Mm-hmm.
skull, concussion, whatever, right? Broken bones. What's 20,000 gonna do? You know what I mean? If he doesn't get the bonus to make it 90,000, right? Now, this is why they have to think about the money. You know, this is why they have to think about the money. And then with Conor McGregor coming through in a short period of time that he was in there doing what he did, you know what I'm saying? They have to look at that. They have to find a way to diversify their portfolio. It's a must. It's a must. Being great in mixed martial arts will not pay the bills, especially if you have kids. That's not going to pay the bill. Making that money is what's going to pay the bill. So I kind of fault these guys for starting to look towards income rather than becoming great in mixed martial art. Now remember, the name of the game is sports entertainment. It's entertainment. So I don't know. I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, I also will cop for the dollar. You know what I mean? I gotta feed my kids. Man, I got 4 children. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I gotta feed my kids. And if that opportunity comes to earn 50 million or be the greatest of all time, I'm choosing the 50 million because I gotta feed my kids. The greatest of all time, we'll talk about you, but then it'll go away.
Mm-hmm.
My kids are gonna be hungry. My kids gotta eat right now. You know what I mean? So this is my take, sir.
I like it. I like it, you know. But for more hot takes on everything Voodoo is thinking, where can they find Voodoo Maximus on social media?
Voodoo Maximus on YouTube, Voodoo Maximus on Instagram, Voodoo Maximus on the Facebook page. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification button. Voodoo Maximus on Twitter. Voodoo Maximus on Periscope. That's now merging with Twitter. So Twitter all day long.
Yes, absolutely. And if you don't know, now you know that Voodoo in the Woods will be breaking down fights all the time. So go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the Voodoo in the Woods Facebook and YouTube pages as well. I mean, I also do a thing according to Woods. So according to Woods, literally on everything. So go ahead and check that out. But we will be here on Sunday. And whatever day that Sunday is after the UFC, the day after the UFC, wherever you are, with more Voodoo in the Woods.